team is the underdog in a Big Ten game. The powerful, league-unbeaten Ohio State Buckeyes invade Jenison with a bevy of talented stars, including hotshot guard Kelvin Ramsey and powerful center Herb Williams. Michigan State desperately needs a win after losing 4 of its last 6 games, and we've got a big one coming up.
Michigan State basketball. Brought to you by Capital Savings and Loan, where you earn 5 1/4% continuously compounded interest on regular passbook or Golden Eagle statement savings accounts. And by Oldsmobile. See your nearest Olds dealer and discover that great Cutlass feeling in a test drive soon. Now available with optional diesel power in '79.
Everybody, Tim Stoudt along with Erik Furseth coming to you tonight from Jenison Fieldhouse, Michigan State and Ohio State basketball. And Erik, this is such a very difficult game to figure tonight. Michigan State in the throes of a losing streak. They've dropped 4 of 6. Ohio State is 8-0, and nobody really has a handle on what to expect from this game tonight.
Well, the Spartans are loose. They've been loose all week. I think from a fan standpoint, great game to watch. It's going to be a fast game. A lot of running. Ohio State will break. Michigan State will break. The Buckeyes are under a little pressure. They had a tough game in Indiana, and they pulled it out. They beat the Hoosiers in overtime. At home, they had to come back, 9 points?
With the last 2 minutes to go.
2 minutes. So they're good. They're a good basketball team. The top rebounder in the Big Ten, the #1 shooter, percentage-wise, is this Williams kid. He's great to watch. It should be a fast, great game for Michigan State, and a must-win, as they all are now.
A must-win, certainly. Michigan State and Ohio State, a good one coming your way. The Spartans tonight, of course, with an 11-5 record, are 4-4 in the Big Ten, having dropped 4 of their last 6. They will not have Gerald Busby in the lineup tonight because Gerald Busby has quit school on Monday. Whether that has an effect on tonight's game or not, we'll just have to wait and see. We've got a good game for you tonight. We hope you enjoy it, and we've got it all coming your way in just a moment. We're waiting now for the introduction of players during our pregame activities here at Jenison Fieldhouse, and we'll be back in a moment right after this message.
Ah, to be young. Sometimes it's hard to believe they'll ever grow up. That's why Capital Savings and Loan wants to remind you how important it is to plan for your family's future now. Since 1890, we've been showing Michigan families that the way to a secure future is through savings. Capital has 8 high-interest savings plans. One plan is just right for you and your family. So when you look to the future, think of us at Capital Savings and Loan. Member FSLIC.
Here comes the news. Here come the olds.
Cutlass watching is getting better and better. The practical Cutlass Supreme. The sporty Grand Touring Cutlass Calais. Luxurious Supreme Brome, all available with a diesel V8. Brome, Calais, Supreme. 3 reasons why Cutlass is America's best-selling midsize.
There's a lot of news in olds today. Have one built for you. Oldsmobile.
Erik Furseth, Tim Stoudt, and you hear the Spartan din, the roar of the crowd here at Jenison Fieldhouse. A crowd that, Tim, earlier this year, I think Judd Heathcote was quoted as saying they would not allow us to lose. And the Spartans need one here tonight. 4-4 in the Big Ten. The Buckeyes are undefeated, 8-0. And Eldon Miller's team, and Eldon was at Western Michigan for 5 years and had a championship year down there, and then went on to Ohio State. He's originally went to school and started his coaching career at Wittenberg College in the state of Ohio. This Buckeye squad is laced with all-American high school players, and that would be Herb Williams, number 32, and all Ohio basketball players, as their entire starting lineup is from the state of Ohio. The Buckeyes, and this, Tim, is quite a basketball team in the fact that following the Duke victory early this year, they came of age, didn't they?
Well, there's no question about that. As you look at the Buckeyes, 12 members on their traveling squad. They lost early to Butler and Toledo, and then that win over Duke in the Holiday Festival really set them up. Now, they've only lost 1 game since then. That was to Rutgers in triple overtime in the championship game, which really didn't surprise a lot of people because the letdown of beating Duke might have carried over. Michigan State tonight, on the other hand, has got to get some consistent performances from all of its players. The loss of Busby has to have an unsettling effect on the team. That just means somebody else off the bench has to come through. We'll have Berkovich starting for Donnelly tonight. Not punishment for Terry, just a move to shake things up. And Ohio State has a big road trip this week, Eric, because if they lose tonight, then they must go to Bloomington and try to beat Indiana, which should be snarling mad after blowing a game in Columbus, as you know, late in the last few minutes. Now let's go down on the floor and get the starting lineups.
They'll introduce Scott Carter first, and he had a great game against Indiana.
Our guests this evening, the Buckeyes from Ohio State.
Get the typical
Starting
Jennison.
at forward,
Welcome.
6'2" sophomore from Barberton, Ohio, number 15, Carter Scott.
He has a 9.3 average, scored 19 points against Indiana. He
At
came of
forward,
age.
6'7" junior from St. Croix, the U.S. Virgin Islands, number 15, Ron Charles.
Ron Charles, a 10.5-point average for Michigan State this year.
Ohio State at forward, 6'8" sophomore from Cleveland, Ohio, number 23, Jim
Tech.
Smith.
He's their number 2 big man, 6'8", a 7.8
For the
average.
Spartans at forward, 6'7" senior from Detroit Henry Ford, number 32, Gregory Kelso.
Number 13 scorer in the Big Ten, 16.6 average. He's been a little down here the last couple of games.
At center for Ohio State, 6'10" sophomore from Columbus, Ohio, number 32, Herb Williams.
19.8 average, high school All-American, number 1 rebounder in the Big
For
Ten.
the Spartans at center, 6'8" sophomore from Lansing Eastern High School, number 31, Jay Vincent.
13.3 average. He has a tendency to get in foul trouble early.
At guard for the Buckeyes, 5'9" sophomore from Columbus, Ohio, number 24, Todd Penn.
5.3 average, Tim. He's only 5'9".
At guard for the Spartans, 6'4" sophomore from Windsor, Ontario, number 12, Mike Berkovich.
His first start, a 5.8 average. Mike Berkovich, the gun.
For Ohio State at guard, 6'1" junior from Toledo, Ohio, number 14, Kelvin Ramsey.
Worth the price of admission. Number 3 scorer in the
At
Big
guard
Ten,
for the
22
Spartans,
points.
6'8" sophomore from Lansing Everett High School, number 33, Irvin Johnson.
Number 9 scorer in the Big Ten,
The Buckeyes are
15-point
coached by
average.
Eldon Miller.
Eldon
Michigan
Miller.
State is coached by Judd
There's Eldon.
Heathcote. Our official timer.
Well,
There's Judd.
we've mentioned Ohio State's trip, but Michigan State has a brutal week as well. They must play Northwestern on Saturday afternoon here, and then the Kansas Jayhawks come in Sunday at 2 o'clock for a nationally televised game. But this is the key Big Ten game tonight. Our officials are Rich Weiler, Phil Robinson, and Ray Duran, and Weiler is the senior member of the crew here tonight in Jennison Fieldhouse.
All veteran Big Ten officials.
I thought it'd be interesting to see how the crowd reacted to the Spartans tonight when they came on the floor with the problems they have had, but they have to be very pleased with the support they have had so far. It seems like a very positive Spartan crowd. It'll be interesting to see what effect, if any, that has on the club early in the game.
And in Judd's TV show last night that you did along with Judd, that was I think a nice comment. Judd said he's only had one bad letter calling for his resignation. Of course, it was signed by how many thousand people?
Well, he kidded us and said it was 10,000. And for those of you in Detroit, Judd's show is only seen locally in Lansing, but he was in a pretty good mood for that TV show, considering the fact that he had a very rough week, losing at Michigan a week ago tonight and then to Northwestern Saturday. We are set to go from Jennison Fieldhouse. It'll be Herb Williams and Gregory Kelso, a pair of number 32s in the center jump circle to get this one underway. With this game tonight, the Big Ten season is halfway over, and a Buckeye victory would send them well on their way to a title. Michigan State, of course, in white. The Buckeyes in red were underway.
And I mentioned both these teams will run and break.
Inside to Kelso, and we have our first turnover exactly 9 seconds into the game. Ohio State, I believe, started man-to-man there, and I think that confused the Spartans a bit.
They will play both a man-for-man and a zone.
Michigan State has won 11 straight games from the Buckeyes. Herb Williams on the turnaround has it.
You'll see a lot of that.
Ohio State has not defeated Michigan State since 1972. The series is tied at 27 wins apiece. It is a man-to-man for the Buckeyes. And you'll note Kelvin Ramsey is on Irvin Johnson.
The size of this Ohio State team, 6'1", 6'2", and 5'9", they are a small, short team, but they're quick.
Kelso, Gregory Kelso, who only had 4 points against Northwestern, has tied the game at 2.
Now, Michigan State, I think, is going to feint the press, but not do a lot with it.
This is Kelvin Ramsey, and Jay Vincent has the board.
Oh, there's a turnover. He carried the ball.
Johnson is palming the ball. 2 turnovers for Michigan State.
What Michigan State will do, Tim, is feint this full court press and make Ohio State do exactly what they just did and take that long outside shot off no action and nobody rebounding.
Well, they're all great shooters in that front line. Scott, Williams, and Ramsey shooting over 50% per man. 18:48 to go, score tie. Ramsey to Todd Penn, and it's knocked away by Kelser. Todd Penn is really not the offensive player on this club. He's only shooting 40%, but he's a good quarterback of the team. Judd Heathcote says Kelvin Ramsey has perhaps the best jump shot, pure jump shot in Big Ten basketball.
All Big Ten last year. He's a junior.
Buckeyes with 4 sophomores and a junior in their starting lineup.
Michigan State is in that zone.
Here's Ramsey.
Short.
And Jay Vincent with a board. Johnson. And Michigan State has a 4-2 lead on the bucket by Irvin Johnson.
Here's the full court, or actually 3/4 court. You can see it's pretty loose.
You see Judd Heathcote directing traffic. Herb Williams has it blocked away by Vincent.
Good block by Jay.
Vincent.
Got it.
And it's 6-2 Michigan State. The Spartans shot only 32% at Northwestern, but they're hot when they get home.
That's Berkovich on Ramsey. Now he's on the ball. They're trying to feed Williams inside on that strong post, even though Michigan State is in a zone. Now Williams low.
First turnover for Ohio State, and the Spartans will get it back. Eldon Miller wants some backcourt pressure now against Michigan State. 6-2 with 17 minutes to play.
Ramsey is on Johnson.
Irvin will have that blocked away a little bit.
That's 6-1 on 6-8.
Now Irvin comes out top of the key defense. He was well underneath the last time down the floor.
The State's in a man-for-man now, and they'll try to hit Williams inside in that short post. There he forced it.
Berkovich doesn't lose the dribble, doesn't make the bucket. And Herbie Williams gets on the, or rather Jim Smith for Ohio State pulls it clean.
Burke really never had control of the basketball there on the break.
Crowd making a lot of noise, as you might expect. We've had no fouls called here in the first 4 minutes. Williams with that patented hook shot doesn't go, and Irvin has the board. Home run ball to Vincent. And he's fouled. Todd Penn got him. That's our first foul of the game. Take a look one more time at the pass from Johnson to Vincent. Jay gets it, and then Penn hooks him inside, which might have been a break for Jay Vincent, who looked like he might be about to lose the dribble. Eldon Miller does not like that call for Ohio State. Common foul, Vincent from Johnson, and that's blocked away, foul inside, and I think Gregory Kelser might have it.
Oh, they're calling them tight tonight.
Well, at least in the last time down the floor, it is the only first 2 fouls we've had, but those 2 calls were tight calls, certainly.
And that'll give the ball players an indication of what they can expect from the officials, as those really both were touch fouls. They were fouls, but they were touch fouls.
Official is still talking with Eldon Miller, and Eldon Miller and his assistant. All right, 15:55 to go. Spartans lead at 6-2. No substitutions for either club yet. Todd Penn has it batted away by Vincent, ahead to Berkovich. 2 points for Berkovich, and it's 8-2. Todd Penn, as I said, is not a shooter.
Amazing, Tim. He will go down the middle. He's only 5'9". There's another loose ball.
Charles. Score. No, hold it.
He traveled.
Oh.
He did. He walked.
3 turnovers on each side. Naturally, there are complaints from the Michigan State bench. And still, Eldon Miller talks with the official here. I don't know exactly what his complaint is, but we have a timeout with 15:23 to go first half. Our score, Michigan State 8, Ohio State 2. We'll be back in a moment, right after you watch this message.
Before you spend one thin dime on a full-size car, compare the Olds Delta 88. Compare those big, roomy interiors. Compare that great Olds ride thanks to a full 116-inch wheelbase. Compare the economy of its standard V6 engine and its available 5.7-liter diesel V8. But whatever you do, be sure to compare the price. You'll find you can step up to Delta 88. A full-size Olds for less than you think.
Delta 88. Have one built for you.
Enjoying life, family fun, and togetherness, creating memories you'll never forget? Capital Savings and Loan thinks the way to enjoy life is through security. We can help you get that security with a savings plan for you and your family. Capital Savings offers you 8 different high-interest savings plans. One plan is just right for you. So stop in at one of our convenient locations. Capital Savings and Loan, security for today and tomorrow. Member FSLIC.
Take a look one more time at the travel call here on Ron Charles. You decide for yourself. 1, 2. I don't know, Eric. I tell you, he took the mandatory 2 steps there. And the official off the ball here on the weak side called it.
He was in better position as he was looking at it broadly, but boy, he takes a long step, doesn't he?
Well, that might be why he got the call, because he went so far without the dribble. At any rate, it is 8-2. And Michigan State is in the lead. Let's check lineup changes here. I don't think I see any yet for Ohio State.
No.
And none for Michigan State. 8-2. We have 15:20 to go first half. Spartans lead. They have scored 8 straight points.
State back in the zone now. They go with the high-low post against the zone with Smith on the baseline and Ramsey up high. Or excuse me, Williams up high, number 32 Williams.
I'll tell you, Ohio State's standing around too much on offense, Eric. That's their problem. They're standing around a little, which has been Michigan State's problem.
I don't know if you can see him. Eldon Miller's almost down to the Spartan bench, talking to his players.
There's Eldon. What a fine job he has done since coming from Western Michigan, taking a young team, made it a Big Ten power.
The Buckeyes prove you don't have to be a real big team. As I mentioned, 6'2", 6'1", and 5'9".
So you'll notice how they're having trouble moving it quickly against the zone. And that keeps Ramsey from getting open. Shot from the corner, finally poured up and in. And I believe it is Carter Scott, and that's his first 2, and it's 8-4. As I say, that's been Michigan State's problem against the zone, is moving the ball quickly against the defense.
They're putting Johnson at the high post.
So Vincent really beat his man Williams there. Jay Vincent has 4 points. 10-4 Spartans. Williams gave him the baseline, and Jay took advantage. 14 minutes to play. Nice pass, Scott, to get out of trouble.
Williams comes all the way out to help.
Ron Charles out here on Ramsey to keep him from shooting. And Ramsey forces that shot, and it comes out to Kelser. 4 on 3.
Spartans are getting the rebounds. Eldon's going to call. Did he want a timeout? It looked like he wanted to call one.
Johnson, Irvin Johnson. 4 for him. Irvin came in tonight averaging 44% from the field, which is about his career average. And he's hit 2 out of 3 tonight. It's 12-4. Williams on the deck, gets it around his man, and won't go. And Kelser on the inside board. Home run ball to Charles is stolen away nicely by Carter Scott.
Oh, they gave him a lane.
And it's blocked away. Berkovich foul called.
Charles.
I tell you, that's as calm as I've seen Judd Heathcote all year. He is relaxed so far in the first part of this game. So Ron Charles from Michigan State has his first second team.
Oh, no, they call that on.
They did call it the other way.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why Judd didn't get up.
That's why he didn't get excited.
That's why he didn't get up. Okay, Carter Scott, our mistake. We apologize. His first. Kelser. 4 points for Kelser, and it is 14-4, Michigan State. They trailed 2-0 and have ripped off 14 of the last 16 points. And again, the Buckeye offense has trouble moving the ball fluently.
I think this half-quarter, three-quarter court press, it really is not a press. They're just showing themselves up there, is bothering the Buckeyes a little bit.
Herb Williams. Tipped up, no, tipped up and in finally. Nice play inside.
Jim Smith.
By Jim Smith, his first two, 14-6.
He is 6'8", 218 pounds, played for East Tech in Cleveland.
Michigan State, as I say, has Northwestern here Saturday. Buckeyes go to Bloomington, play Indiana. Vincent off his man. Nice shot, Jay Vincent. Six for him. And it's 16-6. Jay's an unusual player. He can play so well at times, and the Buckeyes won a timeout. With 11 minutes and 38 seconds to go first half, Michigan State 16, Ohio State 6. We'll be back in a moment right after this message.
Life is full of memories. Retirement is a good time to reflect upon your memories and experiences. But a happy retirement requires money. Capital Savings and Loan's individual retirement account guarantees money in your pocket when you retire, plus a lot of savings along the way. Visit a Capital Savings and Loan office and get started on your tax-sheltered retirement account, IRA, today for financial security tomorrow. Capital Savings and Loan, member FSLIC.
The famous design of Olds Cutlass Supreme is one reason why it's so popular. But there's another reason. Cutlass is different cars for different people. Cutlass Supreme for style, practicality, and a lot of value. Cutlass Calais for the feel of grand touring. And Cutlass Supreme Brome for the nicest luxury touches. All come with solid Olds engineering and that great Cutlass feeling on the road. Discover Cutlass Supreme. Have one built for you.
Our next telecast will be from Columbus, Ohio, 1 week from Saturday night, Michigan State and Ohio State. The rematch of these two games, and certainly the crowd will be a little different, the situation as well. We'll be on the air at 8 o'clock, and our tip-off time about 8:10 down there. They let everybody get settled in that St. John Arena. Beautiful facility. And you can bet that crowd will be as noisy in Columbus as the one here at Jenison tonight. Spartans get a fine hand as they come out of the huddle. There's Eldon Miller and his Buckeyes. They are ranked number 7 in the country coming in tonight by the UPI poll. Michigan State is 13th. It was a month ago today the Spartans were number 1. Inside, nice play by Jim Smith, and that's what the Buckeyes need, is heavier inside play.
It really wasn't contested either, Tim.
Nope.
There's Johnson in that post.
Yeah, they were pushing him hard in there. I watched that time. Kelvin Ramsey was elbowing Irvin pretty well inside. Third team foul. Spartans will take it out underneath.
And that's what Michigan State will do. Ramsey is only 6'1" on Irvin, 6'8". They'll try to get him inside.
Kelser hustling and saves the ball in front of the Ohio State bench. Perkovich is open. Traveling on Perkovich. 5-3 in turnovers. So with 11:06 to go, it's 16-8 Michigan State.
And the Spartans this year before have roared early like this, gotten a lead, only to see it dissipate.
Inside to Herb Williams, it won't fall. And it comes out to Irvin Johnson. Irvin on the break. And Kelser is fouled. Could be a shooting foul. I think Carter Scott is the man who is guilty.
That'll be the second on him, 4th team foul.
So So is it a shooting foul or not? Kelser felt it was, and I believe it is.
70% shooter from the line.
You know, Eric, I'm a little surprised so far that Ohio State has Ramsey guarding Irvin Johnson. You've got score against score, but I would imagine they figure that Ramsey's quickness can stay with Irvin Johnson. This is Kelser for 2.
And the Spartans will take Johnson inside as long as they leave Ramsey on him. They have to. Good rebound.
Oh, got it. 3-point play. Ron Charles gets Kelser's second miss, rams it home, and boy, that makes Eldon Miller unhappy.
Smith gets the foul, his first 15 foul.
So now we'll try Ron Charles one time, and it's 18-8. That's going to get our first substitution. Marcus Miller, a 6'4", 19-year-old sophomore from Columbus St. Charles High School, checks in, and Carter Scott will go out. Great play by Ron Charles that time. 18-8, 10:41 to play in the first half. Charles. Spartans 0 for 3 from the line tonight. Ohio State has not tried a free throw yet. Kelvin Ramsey.
All alone. Nobody on him.
And as they say, he is deadly with that shot, and that's his first 2, 18-10.
He has a string of 48 consecutive games in which he has scored 10 points or more. Number 14, Ramsey, all Big Ten last year. There's a player control foul on Kelser. Good defense by Ramsey. That's a second team foul on Michigan State. And Kelser's second foul.
So the Buckeyes could cut it to 6 with a bucket here. Rob Gonzalez is going to check in for Michigan State. And let's see, we have a discussion over here. Kelser goes out. So Rob Gonzalez plays 6th man tonight.
1.3 average.
Buckeyes are a patient team. They won't quit. No question about that at any point in the game, regardless of the score. And they proved that Saturday against Indiana. Ramsey baseline stolen away momentarily, and a foul inside. And I believe Herb Williams has it.
That's the 6th team foul. So Michigan State will be in that bonus here. It is on Williams. First foul on him. Here it is again. Can't reach over. Gonzalez.
Good call. So that's 6 fouls now on the Bucks, as Eric mentioned. 2 for Michigan State. 9:49 to go. Vincent wheeling on Smith, and that one was blocked away.
Here's the Ohio State run.
Marcus Miller can't get it. Loose on the floor to Irvin Johnson. Irvin baseline and then gets rid of it back outside.
Ohio State has been in a man-for-man all the time as they put Marcus now on Johnson.
And he's bumping him pretty well inside. Irvin drives Miller, and he fouled him. He just knew that was going to come sooner or later if Irvin handles the ball. Now Terry Donnelly comes in, and Mike Berkovich will check out as Marcus Miller talks with Eldon Miller.
The bonus rule is on for Michigan State.
All right, take a look. This is what Irvin Johnson does so well, is to draw a foul while moving with the basketball against a man-to-man.
First foul on Marcus Miller, number 45.
So for the last 9:14 now, if the Spartans can make free throws, they're going to be in the bonus for the rest of the half.
They can't make them so far. What are they, 0 for 4?
0 for 4. They have not had a free throw made in the game. Buckeyes haven't shot any. Todd Penn, and boy, that's a long shot for him, and it gets the fall. So Ohio State has whittled it back to 18-12. They've cut that lead in half from 14-2 to 18-12.
Ohio State is the top shooting team in the Big Ten with a 52% average. Michigan State number 5 at 48%.
Johnson over Marcus Miller.
Nobody rebounding. Spartans are 7th in the Big Ten, Tim, in free throw shooting.
So the Buckeyes are whittling it away. Ramsey goes baseline on Charles. No good. Tipped up and home. Nice play inside by Marcus Miller.
That's a second tip for the Buckeyes. That's 4 points they've scored on rebounds. That hurts.
Spartans have been in that dry spell now.
You know, Donnelly was benched last year, remember?
There's Vincent.
Nice basket. He came off the bench like a tiger. Remember that last year?
Well, that's what they hope he does again. And Vincent's playing like a tiger tonight. He has 8 points, 20-14. He's been working Jim Smith over pretty well. Miller is traveling. 4 turnovers, Ohio State. Now into the game for the Buckeyes, number 41 from Plymouth-Salem, Jim Ellinghausen. And with that, we get a timeout. With 7 minutes, 27 seconds to play first half. Timeout on the floor. Michigan State 20, Ohio State 14. Back in a moment, right after this message.
Oldsmobile announces a new state-of-the-art and personal luxury car design, the all-new Toronado. Built on the Olds heritage of front-wheel drive, the new Toronado offers a choice of standard gasoline or available diesel V8 engines, plus standard features like electronic level control and independent 4-wheel suspension for impressive roadability. Discover the elegant inner world of Oldsmobile's Toronado. Have one built for you.
You haven't got a care in the world when you come to us, so no.
By land, air, or sea, if getting away from it all is your dream, help make it come true by saving at Capital Savings and Loan. With their wide choice of 6 high-interest savings plans, you're sure to find one to suit your needs. For more information, call Lansing 371-2911. Capital Savings and Loan, member FSLIC.
Tim Stoudt with Erik Furseth back here in Jennison Fieldhouse. It is now 20-14. Michigan State leads. You know, as Kelvin Ramsey has an interesting name, he's going to be a big star through his college career. Nobody's going to pronounce his name right because it is not
My Lord, they flocked around him like he was a hero, a conquering hero.
What about Earl Bruce, the new coach? What do you know about him, Kay?
He's got an awful good record, particularly in Ohio. He was a high school coach there, 2 years at Massillon, never lost a ball game. He knows the system in Ohio. He knows all the coaches. Recruiting will probably be tough for him this year. I think eventually he'll get the job done. He's tough. He's a fighter, kind of like Woody. Maybe his football will be similar, too.
Do you think the Ohio State basketball team is good enough to win the Big Ten championship?
Well, I do, and I think it's good enough, yes. It still has a long way to go, particularly here tonight. I just hope, as you and I both watched, that there's nothing really seriously wrong with Irvin Johnson. If there is, certainly it makes it better for the Buckeyes, tougher for the Spartans, but I certainly wouldn't wish any team to win that way. I like Irvin Johnson, and he's a great ball player.
Okay, now at Ohio State, of course, there's a lot of renewed interest, of course, now in football and basketball, especially basketball coming on with a winning season. How do the people there like Eldon Miller?
I think they like him very much. Eldon is colorless. He doesn't say funny things. He's not a quipper like Fred Taylor or like your Gus Ganakis used to be here, or Judd Heathcote now. Eldon's very serious. He's very calm. If you watch him in the first half here, Michigan State's doing a pretty good job of denying Herbie Williams the ball. Eldon's taking it all very quietly, and a couple of timeouts. He works very methodically. I think they like him. The people in Columbus right now are just a little bit disturbed that Woody's upstaged the basketball team, though, because they're cruising along doing some great things, and Woody's getting all the ink.
But the tickets are hard to get down there. I know Steve Snap at Ohio State said, hey, you can't get a basketball ticket anywhere for St. John Arena.
Not like they are here. Everything's sold out, and really the fans are excited. Our fans down there are not quite as excitable or enthusiastic as the people here. I never saw crowds like these right here. They drive me crazy, but if I were a Spartan, I'd love it.
When's the first golf tournament you cover?
I've already covered, well, that wasn't the first one. I covered the Mexico Cup in December. The first one I'll cover will be the Masters.
Okay. Kay, nice to have you with us. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. I love it.
Say hi to Woody and everybody back in Columbus.
I'll do it, Tim.
Okay. Kay Kessler, who is the fine sports writer for the Columbus newspaper down in Ohio, and we'll be back with more and get the second half underway after we pause for this message.
Last year, Oldsmobile introduced the world's first diesel V8 in full-size cars. Now we're introducing a new diesel V8 in mid-size cars, so you can have the fuel economy you need with the size car you want. From the popular mid-size Cutlass Supreme to the luxurious full-size 98. Only Oldsmobile offers diesel V8 power in 19 different models. Diesel-powered Oldsmobiles. Have one built for you.
Saving for the big things in life is easier with Capital Savings and Loan's high-interest savings plans. Save now for your dream possessions, furniture, a new car, saving for a much-deserved vacation, saving with Big C's savings certificates. Capital Savings and Loan has 5 high-interest savings plans to choose from. Saving for the big things in life will be easier when you save in a Capital Savings and Loan savings certificate account. Capital Savings and Loan, member FSLIC.
Okay, the officials are back out, and so are the teams, and we do not see Irvin Johnson on the floor for Michigan State. So we're going to find out his condition just as soon as we possibly can, but he is not on the floor warming up with the Spartans at this point. Judd Heathcote and Bill Berry are sitting on the bench calmly. Dave Harshman is over there now, checking something out with a score. We'll give you the Michigan State scoring statistics here, and the Spartans have had balanced scoring so far. Kelser with 6 points, but as you see, Gregory has 3 fouls, and nobody else is in foul trouble. Jay with 8 points, Irvin with 8 points, and then Donnelly, Charles, and Berkovich each with 4, so 6 of the 7 at the half. Iowa, I don't think it was that. It was 7 minutes to play, I thought. He said Iowa's leading Wisconsin 21-17. The Buckeyes, except for Kelvin Ramsey, nobody's really done much. Ramsey with 8 points. And look at Herb Williams averaging 19.8 a game. He's only had 2 points tonight. Carter Scott with 2. Jim Smith with 4. Todd Penn with 2. Mike Klein with 4. Ellinghausen with 3. And Miller with 2. So the only man in foul trouble is Carter Scott. Ramsey with 2 and Williams with 1. So that's our situation here at the moment. I just don't see Irvin Johnson over there, Eric, and we're trying desperately to find out here what his condition is.
Also don't see Clint Thompson.
No, I don't see Clint Thompson. It's a good point you make. Here's in the second half now. Indiana is leading Michigan 51-37.
Here's a guy they miss a little bit of this year. That's the first time I think I've seen him. Coutre. Remember Jim Coutre? He's there with the ball club.
Not dressed, certainly.
No.
And they could use him in a uniform right now.
Well, he played with great intensity and fervor.
Well, you know that there are 10,004 fans in here that want to know what the story is with Irvin Johnson. Donnelly, Berkovich, Kelser, Vincent, and Charles will come out for Michigan State. I hear the crowd make noise, but I don't see any Irvin Johnson at all. I thought he might be coming back out of the trainer's room, but I guess not. I guess that's just a roar from the crowd to say, hey, let's have a good second half. Irvin went out when it was 32-23. It's now 34-27. And the Spartans are really going to have to put it together here without him and try to hold on and win this game over the unbeaten Buckeyes.
Same starting lineup for the Buckeyes: Ramsey, Scott, Smith, Penn, and Williams.
And who will be the hero for Michigan State here in the second half? Whistle inside, foul call against Ohio State.
Now Kelser is hurt over there in the corner. He got hit in the head.
Jim Smith gets the foul, his second. Well, for a team with no bench, you just cannot have anybody hurt, let alone Irvin Johnson, whether it's Berkovich, Charles, Donnelly, anybody. Spartans can afford no injuries on this ball club. Gregory is a tough guy, though, and he's played off a lot of lacerations in his head there. Now the ball's thrown away. 9 turnovers for the Spartans, so the Buckeyes now really want to put it to them right away and get back control of this game. They trailed at 1 point, 14-4.
Spartans in a zone defense, which they spent most of the first half in. There's a high feed.
No call inside, and then back up and through for Herb Williams.
Herb Williams.
4 points for him, and that was kind of a garbage bucket, but it went down anyway.
Here comes Ohio State in the press. Ball went out of bounds.
Michigan State has got to get some more ball handling and less intimidation on those guards. The players that handle the ball, they're so used to Irvin doing that. Now the pressure's on the 2 guards, Donnelly and Berkovich.
Ohio State sticking in their man-to-man, which they were in most of the first half.
Kelser. Threw out of bounds to Michigan State on the line, and Carter Scott can't believe it.
Good break for the Spartans.
Neither can Eldon Miller. Jay Wheels deals. Oh, not quite. Almost. Would have been a great move if he'd have put that one home. But the Buckeyes, on the other hand, can cut it to 3, and we have 18:39 to go.
Williams now up high starting the second half. He was on the baseline the last 10 minutes of the first half. There he is. Oh, he jumps nice, doesn't he?
Herb Williams, 6 for him, and they're getting the ball to him, and now it's 34-31.
And he's listed at 6'10", but I think he goes closer to 7 feet.
Kelser, Vincent, and Charles are going to have to do a real job on those boards now. Berkovich inside around his man, blocked away. And Charles to Kelser. That'll be slammed down.
Got their rebound.
That's a big bucket for Michigan State, Eric. Take a look one more time. Kelser, and you know he's going to go for all the gusto right there.
Remember that the Spartans against Michigan here just a week ago tonight lost it in that first 6-7 minutes of the second half. There's a nice loose ball.
3 on 2. Vincent. And Berkovich gets a good steal. Jay made a sloppy pass there. Kelser around his man too hard. And a technical foul is called against the Michigan State bench, and I'll tell you, that wasn't on Judd Heathcote. That's got to be on Bill Berry. I'll tell you, Judd never said a word, never got up. And so a bench technical against Michigan State, but I have to say, in fairness to Judd, he never got up, never said a word.
2-shot foul, too. When it's on the bench, it costs you 2 at the line, and the ball.
I think Bill Berry must have said something because he was the first one up with a what me look. Kelvin Ramsey will shoot. 9 for him, and it's 36-32.
76% shooter from the line.
10 for Ramsey, and it's 36-33 plus ball possession. Even Bob Chapman is out there talking, Michigan State's co-captain last year. Now Judd's having a little more to say to the official here.
Dave Harshman, that's Chapman with Heathcote there. There's the official that called that just came into the picture.
Herm Rohrig, the director of Big Ten officials, is here tonight to watch this game. 17-14 to go. Buckeyes can cut it to 1. Carter Scott.
He had that good night against Indiana, scored 19 for a high last game. He just hit one there.
Clint Thompson is now back on the Michigan State bench, the trainer, but he says nothing to anyone, and I wish we could get word on Irvin, if for no other reason than a long run.
And I would have to assume, if Clint's coming out, Tim, that we will not see Johnson here in the second half at all. This is
Vincent inside, and Michigan State will get it back. Possibly someone from our crew here can run down and talk to Clint Thompson as Judd Heathcote signals for a timeout, because Clint Thompson is the man to find out as to what the story is. Timeout with 16:28 to go. Michigan State 36, Ohio State 35. Back in a moment right after this message.
A secure financial future is what every family works towards. Making sure your family's needs are met, caring for your loved ones, providing the necessities of life. Saving regularly at Capital Savings and Loan, where you earn the highest interest rates around, makes it all possible. Visit a Capital Savings and Loan office today and arrange for your family's financial security. Capital Savings and Loan, member FSLIC.
Oldsmobile believes the right way to engineer a family car is to begin with the family. So Delta 88 has the trunk space and the interior room you want, with the comfort your family needs.
Maybe I'll drive.
Delta 88 is a great road car everybody wants to drive.
I'm driving.
Oh.
Till we get to the highway.
Isn't it time your family moved up to an Oldsmobile? Delta 88. Have one built for you.
Tim Stoudt with Erik Furseth back here at Jennison Fieldhouse. We have dispatched one of our crew to talk with Clint Thompson, and as soon as we can get communications hooked up, we'll let you know the condition of Irvin Johnson, who, if you joined us late, went down on a heap with 2 minutes to go in the first half and limped off with looked like either sprained or hopefully not worse, but some kind of an ankle injury, and has not come back on the floor. Spartans lead by 1 point here after that timeout called by Judd Heathcote.
Right here, Tim, they're going to go very controlled, Michigan State, and attempt to hang on to the lead here. But, you know, when you do that a lot, there's a foul on Smith, 23. That's his third foul, second team foul this half. This can stagnate the offense, too, and it can hurt you. Not to play your normal game. And certainly without Johnson in there, it's not normal.
So 3 fouls on Jim Smith. He's the first Ohio State player with 3 personals. Berkovich, we're told that the Michigan State bench will not divulge any information on the condition of Irvin Johnson at the moment. Now, it could possibly be, they don't know, but Buckeyes get a turnover and then a foul.
Charles picks that one up.
That's his second and the 10th Michigan State turnover. Take a look one more time at the move in here by Donnelly.
Blocked from the back.
Boy, nice play by the Buckeyes. And then Smith is fouled by Charles. So Ohio State still does not have the lead. They trail by 1 with 15:55 to go. And Kelser on the steal. 2-on-1. Nice play. Greg Kelser.
Nice steal. They need that.
And Judd Heathcote's leading the cheers over there, 38-35. The Spartans leading by 3.
Good hustle.
Ramsey is fouled. And Terry Donnelly is the man who gets the call.
That would have been Kelser's 4th, wouldn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
And The Spartan bench does not like the call. You check it out for yourself. No, wait, they're going to call it on Kelser. They're going to call it on Kelser. So that is his 4th foul. And Judd Heathcote scratches his head in front of the Spartan benches to say, what do I do now? Kelser must leave the game with 15:31 to play. Gregory has been prone to foul trouble. He has fouled out of 3 games this season. Rob Gonzalez replaces him. Boy, that is a young Michigan State lineup with the exception of Vincent and Kelser. Inside shot beautiful by Herb Williams. 8 for him, 38-37. He's become much more active here in the second half.
Berkovich has really gained a lot of confidence in handling that ball here in just the last 2-3 weeks. Handles it very nicely. Number 12, Berkovich. That's him with the ball now. Gonzalez.
Charles. And you see the Buckeyes own those boards now. That's one area where Irvin Johnson was very, very strong, was rebounding, especially on the defensive glass. 14:48 to play. Michigan State leads it by 1 point. Ramsey.
It's automatic. He missed one.
Tipped up, no, and it comes out to Vincent. Buckeyes led 2-0. They have trailed ever since then. And the Spartans refuse to say die here. Vincent. And a foul inside on Charles.
3rd team foul on Michigan State. And his 3rd foul. 3rd foul on Charles.
Ron Charles is fouled out of 2 games, and you see he's just in without control, diving in there.
He probably feels he's got the gap to fill.
Again, Ohio State can take the lead right here.
I think they led 2-0.
That was it. But no sooner said than up and home by Carter Scott, and the Buckeyes lead it 39-38. And we have 14:08 showing on the clock. Plenty of time for anything, of course, to happen.
And we can look for that play again against Michigan State's zone. There goes Gonzalez moving inside.
He's got it. Oh, they call offensive foul.
You got him on the hook, Tim. If we just see this again, he hooked him with his left elbow.
Rob Gonzalez. I'm not sure if he didn't have his man beat first, though.
Watch, see the hand? See the hand. There's the hand.
Yeah, I know, but, well, you call it.
He had a beat without that.
At any rate, the Buckeyes have it back with 13:52 to go. I don't know if it was a foul in the first place, but at any rate, the men on the floor made the call, and that's that. Ramsey is open, gives up the shot for the pass.
Oops.
Oh, and Michigan State, they call traveling beforehand. So I was going to say, the Spartans are so guilty of leaving their feet on head fakes defensively. All of them do it.
And of course, with a zone, but not particularly this matchup zone, but with a zone, you have that luxury because you have somebody backing you up normally. Pick that ball up, so you'll go up a little quicker than you will if you're man for man.
Obviously, this would be a great win if Michigan State could get it.
Nice
Vincent,
wheel.
nice play by Jay Vincent.
Well, he pivot beautiful there.
He's run that play several times tonight successfully. Spartans would have a great win against the Big Ten unbeaten leaders without their #1 guy for almost or more than half the game. They lead it by 1 with 13:04 to go.
Michigan State is almost matching up underneath on the 2 big men, even though they're in a zone.
Kelvin Ramsey. Oh, nice play
tip.
inside.
Smith, that's his 2nd tip. Did he get 1?
He has 6 points with that one, and it's 41-40 Buckeyes. Charles is fouled by Carter Scott, and that'll be his 3rd.
13 foul on the Buckeyes this half. Michigan State has 4.
Foul is on number 15, Carter Scott. His 3rd, team's 3rd.
Here's a halftime score. Iowa 28, Wisconsin 25. That game is at Madison tonight. And the Hawkeyes, of course, are desperately trying to catch Ohio State. Michigan State will play at Iowa next Thursday. Spartans trail by 1 with 12:22 to go. Whistle inside, foul on Carter Scott, and that's his 4th. That's an off-the-ball foul, and I think he got a technical foul. A technical foul on Carter Scott. So that'll make it a one-shot situation for Michigan State. And, of course, Berkovich, who hadn't missed all year, will get the shot.
Stoudt will come out of there, too. And number 34, Mike Klein from Millersburg, Ohio, 6'4", will come in.
There's Carter Scott, not happy. Eldon Miller will let him cool off a bit. So Mr. Berkovich, who is 2 for 2 tonight, he is the only Spartan who has made any free throws. They're 2 for 6 as a team tonight. Well, he finally missed it.
Well, I'm glad that's over.
He had gone 19 straight without a miss. So now he's 19 out of 20. But the Spartans have possession. They have Scott out of the game with his 4th foul, more importantly for them. And they have the ball. Berkovich goes the lane. And I think he was fouled. He was fouled.
That'll be the 15th foul.
Kelvin Ramsey got it. That's his 3rd foul. So the Buckeyes are piling up the personal fouls. This is a nice play by Mike Berkovich, Erik. It shows some real leadership here.
We're going to go down the hole.
Ramsey must have got him early in there, because he didn't touch him once he was by him. Donnelly will not shoot. Vincent wheels. Beautiful pass to Charles.
Well, they fell off to help out. Vincent sensed the pressure. He got the assist. Charles scores.
Spartans are gutting it out, Erik. They're hanging right in. They're tough. And Jay has played a very fine game for Michigan State tonight. 1-point Spartan lead.
They're man for man on that baseline on the 2 big guys. That's why Ohio State trying to shoot that guy across. And Donnelly's in that lane right now.
Super ball game tonight, no question about it. Foul called. Berkovich, I think, grabbed Ramsey first. And that's Mike's first.
15th foul on Michigan State.
Now into the game, let's see, out of that game is 24, Todd Penn.
Second foul on Berkovich.
I think we have a timeout here. We do have a timeout. 11:26 to go here for Jennison Fieldhouse. It's Michigan State 42, Ohio State 41, and we'll be back in a moment right after this message.
Here comes the news. Here come the olds.
Cutlass watching is getting better and better. The practical Cutlass Supreme. The sporty Grand Touring Cutlass Calais. Luxurious Supreme Brome, all available with a diesel V8. Brome, Calais, Supreme. 3 reasons why Cutlass is America's best-selling midsize.
There's a lot of news in olds today. Have one built for you. Olds will build.
Hi, Grandpa.
Now that you're enjoying the future you saved for, how about making sure the ones you love get started the right way? Capital Savings and Loan can help.
My, they're growing up.
Why don't we open a savings account for them?
Dear, that's a wonderful idea, and we should do the same for Ann's children.
Teach them to save. Capital Savings and Loan has 8 different high-interest savings plans for their futures. Member FSLIC.
Here's our first Big Ten final score in tonight from Bloomington. Indiana 68, Michigan 62. So both of those clubs are now 4 and 5 in league play. So the Hoosiers on their home floor win tonight, and again, Indiana will play host to Ohio State on Saturday afternoon. I tell you, Erik, this Big Ten race is really something else. It really is. Even though Ohio State's 8-0, they have their hands full tonight, and they should have them full Saturday. And then they get Michigan State and Michigan and Columbus next week. So they got a long way to go despite their big lead. 1-point Spartan lead, 42-41. Williams can't find it. Inside whistle against Ohio State, Jim Smith. That'll be his 4th foul.
4th foul on Smith, 16th foul.
Boy, he's a hard worker inside.
6'8", 218 pounds. There's the shot by Williams. Now watch Smith over the top on Charles.
Good call.
42-41, the Spartans by 1 with Johnson out of there. The Spartans led 34-27 at halftime.
Now they can go up by 3 with 11:10 to play. The Buckeyes, of course, have the deeper bench, and they need it. They're in foul trouble. 2 men with 4, Ramsey with 3. Gonzalez is going to put it up. Air, but Vincent has it home. Great play by Jay Vincent.
Give Gonzalez the assist.
He didn't
off the backboard.
He didn't try for the assist, but he's going to get one. And now it's a 3-point Michigan State lead.
Ohio State has 41. Jim Ellinghausen in there.
Out of bounds should be to Ohio State. Spartans are working hard on defense. But again, remember, Gregory Kelser is out of there with 4 fouls. I think you got to give the Spartans a lot of credit, Eric. Under adverse conditions, they've hung right in there all night. Kelvin Ramsey has 12 points with a beautiful shot, and it's a 1-point Michigan State lead. We have 10 minutes to play. Now Kelser's going to check back in.
Keeping the pressure on the Buckeyes. They haven't stopped playing. There's a shot.
Nobody downtown at home for Michigan State on Vincent's miss.
We're halfway through the second half.
Ramsey goes baseline, and I think
Gonzalez picks it up.
Gonzalez got him.
That'll be the 16th foul, so both teams will be in that bonus here on the next foul. Second foul on Gonzalez. Here comes Johnson.
Here comes Irvin Johnson. That's the roar you hear from the crowd. And he seems to be walking okay. Well, I tell you.
There he is.
I thought that was an awful loud cheer for him going out of there, Gonzalez, but it's for Irvin Johnson coming back.
And he comes back with a score 44-43. Michigan State leading. 9:47 to go.
He's going to come back in a game. Williams, no, and the Spartans have it. And Jennison is up for grabs right now. Johnson will check in. Berkovich from out in the pasture, no. Vincent puts it up.
Oh!
No. Vincent puts it up and home. What a great play by Jay Vincent.
Spartans up by 3. Playing inspired.
And Jennison is alive. There's Irvin Johnson with a little smile on his face. And when he comes in, you're going to hear this place fall apart. Spartans get a steal.
That crowd, no doubt about it, bothering the Buckeyes a little bit. But part of the game of basketball, Tim, is talking to your fellow ball players. And there's no talking down there now. They can't hear.
Kelser, air ball. Vincent puts it up and home.
That's 3 times.
And now it's 48-43. 16 points for Jay Vincent. What a night he has had, and the Buckeyes won a timeout. With 8:42 to go, there is timeout on the floor. It's Michigan State 48, Ohio State 43. We'll be back in a moment right after this message.
We all want the best for our sons or daughters, and what better way to plan for their futures than to save for them? At Capital Savings and Loan, we offer the 8% savings certificate. It pays 8% interest annually when you keep $1,000 or more on deposit for 8 years. And your interest is compounded quarterly for an effective annual yield of 8.24%. Invest in the 8% savings certificates at Capital Savings and Loan, member FSLIC.
Oldsmobile announces a new state-of-the-art and personal luxury car design, the all-new Toronado. Built on the Olds heritage of front-wheel drive, the new Toronado offers a choice of standard gasoline or available diesel V8 engines, plus standard features like electronic level control and independent four-wheel suspension for impressive roadability. Discover the elegant inner world of Oldsmobile's Toronado. Have one built for you.
Well, the roar from the crowd, and you'll hear it get bigger than ever because Irvin Johnson will check in here. But even though he does, you got to give Michigan State a tremendous amount of credit, Eric, to do what they did with Irvin out of there. And there's the roar for Irvin Johnson as he comes back out on the floor. But what a great job Kelser, Vincent, Donnelly, Gonzalez, Charles, Kelser, and Berkovich did.
That's what being part of a basketball team or any team sport is, to go it when you get that adversity.
Well, they did a great job without him, and now they have him back in there. Now, we'll see if he favors either one of those ankles.
15, Scott Carter from Barberton is in there. Carter Scott.
That sounds good either way.
Scott Carter.
Buckeyes have been standing around here on offense a bit and allowed the Spartans to get that 5-point margin again.
Johnson on William, was on William, then he switched sides.
Well, they're going to go zone with his ankle as bad as it is so that he doesn't have to go chasing people all night. Ramsey over, puts it up and home. Great shot, Kelvin Ramsey. 14 for him, and the Buckeyes are 3 down with 8:09 to go.
He's favoring it a little bit.
They want to hit Jay inside. Look at Vincent. Oh, that one did everything but fall. Buckeyes could cut it to 1. Ellinghausen. Bad shot, but he gets the follow and misses that. Herb Williams fights and scores. Herb Williams.
That hurt as the Buckeyes out-rebounded Michigan State on that offensive board.
48-47. You see Irvin loping down the floor there. 1-point Michigan State lead. 7:20 to play.
Buckeyes been man-to-man the whole night against Michigan State.
Donnelly is open. Kelser had to let that go with 4 fouls. So the Buckeyes can take the lead. That timeout really helped Ohio State. Kelvin Ramsey. And Irvin has the board. Tries to go on the fast break, 4-on-2 to Kelser. And it's stolen. Buckeyes. 2-on-1. Herb Williams puts Ohio State in the lead. And Judd Heathcote wants a timeout as the Buckeyes have ripped off 6 straight points. So we have 6 minutes, 37 seconds to play. It is 49-48, Ohio State leading Michigan State here. And the Spartans have got to regroup. Eric?
Phil Donahue presents a unique look at the career and domestic crisis of men between the ages of 35 and 55. The author of The Gray Hitch, Dr. Edmund Hallberg. Learn more about The Gray Itch tomorrow morning at 9 on the Phil Donahue Show on TV6. The Gray Itch.
I've had that before.
Kelvin Ramsey, I think, was injured. They're attending him down there on the bench.
Now, he has 14 points tonight. As you look at the Michigan State cheerleaders. Well, it would tighten this race up a bit if Michigan State could win it. Ramsey's in the middle there somewhere.
He's sitting on the bench, so he's facing us. Get behind the players there, you can get a look at him. No, he can't. And it looks like they're going to send in 34, Mike Klein. Senior from Millersburg, Ohio.
Well, if Eldon Miller can win this one tonight and go 9-0, he really is in great shape, especially if Iowa would lose at Wisconsin, and the Hawkeyes were leading by 4.5.
But then it'll be a dogfight in the Big Ten for that number 2 spot.
That's Todd Penn, 24. So here we go. Michigan State with 6:37 to play.
Ramsey is holding his left knee.
Spartans down by 1. They were ahead by 5 just a minute and a half ago, and then the Buckeyes came alive. Jay wheeling and dealing, gives it to Irvin baseline, out of bounds to Michigan State.
Carter Scott, 6'2", is on Irvin, 6'8". You can see them both right there.
Hand off to Kelser for a layup. Boy, that play worked so many times. 12 points.
Against Ellinghaus, the only member of the Ohio State squad from Michigan. He's from Plymouth, Michigan.
I don't know how teams don't pick that play up. It's just a simple handoff for a layup, and it's worked a lot. Out of bounds to Michigan State.
Michigan State gets the ball.
And Eldon Miller doesn't like it. So when these teams have called timeouts, they've been effective for the team that has called the timeout.
He's going to put Big Jim Smith back in there again.
Spartans by 1. We're inside 6 minutes. Donnelly's wide open. He's going to put it up.
Little short. Don't fight, man. It's our ball.
Kelser travel.
Both got the rebound. Here comes Jim Smith. 23, 6'8", 218 pounds in the ball game for Ellinghausen, who was beaten there by Kelser.
Well, as usual, it's been a super basketball game tonight, a close one all the way. Seems like we ought to just give it to the last team that scores is going to win it. The way it's been about our last 4 telecasts.
Buckeyes this year have won, what, 3 out of 4 overtime games, haven't they?
Yep. And the one they lost was in triple overtime. Here's Herb Williams. And Vincent gets it to Irvin Johnson. Spartans still up 1, 5.5 to play. Donnelly, Kelser. Great
what a
play.
pass by Johnson. You see that?
And a good pass by Terry Donnelly to complete the play. 14 points for Kelser. A 3-point Michigan State lead, and the Buckeyes want a timeout.
Johnson is
This has been a game of streaks the last 3 minutes. It was 48-43 Michigan State, then 49-40. Watch again, Donnelly inside to Kelser, who has his man beat. Jim Smith with 4 fouls, just has to let him go. And there you have the 2. And then after it was 49-48, the Spartans have scored 4 in a row, and now they have a 3-point lead.
I didn't mean to belittle the pass that Donnelly made, but the pinpoint
it was a great
pass
play by Irvin,
of Johnson, it went 80% of the floor like a quarterback. Really, he just stood back and rifled that ball, and then Donnelly saw the open man and beautifully pinpointed the pass into him. Nice play.
This is a big 3-game stretch for Michigan State. They get Northwestern in here Saturday at 1:30 p.m. That will not be televised. And, of course, as you all know, the national game of the week on Sunday at 2 o'clock has Michigan State and Kansas. Then we'll be on the air 1 week from Saturday night at Columbus, Michigan State and Ohio State. After tonight, we have 4 telecasts left. We have road games at Ohio State and Indiana and home games with Purdue and Illinois. Nice to have you with us across the Michigan area tonight on WKBD TV 50 in Detroit and WJIM TV Channel 6 in Lansing. Our video tonight is going into Grand Rapids and also into the Ohio State Network all over the state of Ohio.
Michigan State with Johnson, Vincent, Kelser in the back line, and Berkovich and Donnelly up front. 11 and 12, 31, 2 and 3.
Here we go, 5:16 to play, Spartans by 3.
Ramsey is back in there now, and he's limping and favoring that left leg a little.
Mike Klein. Irvin is on Herb Williams momentarily, then Jay checks him.
Michigan State seems to let him have that outside shot.
Kelvin Ramsey.
As long as they don't get that ball into Williams too often.
1-point game, Spartans lead it. 52 to 51.
He can't hang on to him like that. See that?
Irvin around his man, puts it up, no good. Vincent, almost. Irvin, and a foul.
That'll be on Smith, I think. If it is, that'll be his 5th.
5 fouls on Jim Smith, if it's on Jim Smith, and I believe it is.
Well, and he has been effective off those boards. He has had 2 or 3 offensive tip-ins. And you take away 4 or 6 points from the Buckeyes, this will be a different ball game. Spartans up by 1.
He goes out with 6 points. With 4:27 to go, and Michigan State leading by 1, and Irvin Johnson will be on the line. Irvin has not shot a free throw tonight. And he comes into the ball game averaging 78% on his free throws, second to Berkovich on the team in accuracy. Now is this a 2-shot or a 1-and-1? We'll have to wait and see here.
I think it'll probably be they're in the bonus rule, both teams are, but I think it's a 2-shot.
Yeah, it is 2 shots. Jim Ellinghausen will check in. The delay was to get an Ohio State player in here. That gives everybody a chance to rest.
That rule states you have 1 minute when somebody fouls out to get a substitute in. And as you mentioned, a lot of teams use it really for a timeout.
So Irvin Johnson with 2 big shots here. Nine points for him. 53-51, 4:27 to go. (54-51). So the Spartans hold on to that threadbare margin. They trail 49-48 and they've been ahead ever since.
Ramsey. There he is, favoring his left leg.
Carter Scott had to be fouled by Irvin, I believe. So for Johnson, that's his first foul tonight.
Send him to the line, too.
So now with 4:11 to go, the Buckeyes will shoot free throws the rest of the night.
Foul is on number 33.
And they have only been there, Eric, 4
Johnson
times
hits
tonight.
first.
They're 3 out of 4, and 2 of them were on a technical foul.
They never did get into that bonus rule the first half.
Here's Carter Scott, who has not been there tonight. 7 for him.
And he will get the bonus.
Ohio State has had some big wins on the road this year. They have beaten Iowa, Illinois, and Michigan on the road.
He was the hero against Indiana in overtime.
4:05 to go. Spartans lead it by 1. Kelser slides and falls over there momentarily. Irvin wheels, deals, scores! Irvin Johnson, 12 points. Beautiful move, and it's 56-53.
You know, as a basketball player, if you have to hurt a leg, hurt the right leg, Tim, because you shoot off the left leg on the drive.
3.5 minutes to go.
Meanwhile, Ramsey has his left knee hurt. That's his shooting leg.
Carter Scott baseline. And it comes out to Kelser. Home run pass to Berkovich. 2-on-1. And it's thrown away momentarily, and the Buckeyes do have it.
That's too bad.
13 turnovers.
That was a big play, 56-53 with 3:12.
Kelser playing his man tight. He has 4 fouls.
4 fouls. Look at him try to force into Williams. There's the cross court.
Carter Scott stolen away. And then Vincent is fouled by Mike Klein. That's his first. Eldon Miller does not like the call. With 2:52 to play. So Jay Vincent, who has not done well shooting free throws this year, he's shooting 54% from the line coming in. He has not been there tonight. And Jay really needs to hit something here with 2:52 to go and the Spartans leading by 3 points. He has had a great game tonight.
Got it.
17 points for Jay Vincent. Kelser with 14, Johnson with 12, and a timeout. And they'll hold it right here with 2:52 to go. So the Spartans, Eric, right now are in pretty good shape. But Ohio State, as you'll recall, it was 9 points down to Indiana on Saturday and rallied to win. They'll have to do it on the road, though.
And Johnson has been really gone most of the second half. He came back on the floor, that is, into the field house with 9:47 to go in the ball game here, and he came in, what, with about 7.5, 8 minutes?
It was 48-43 Spartans when he entered the game. And Ohio State took the lead. They scored the next 6 points. Michigan State called timeout. Then they went up by 3 at 52-49. They've led ever since. And Vincent will have one more free throw here. Jamie Huffman there in the huddle you saw a moment ago. He played in the JV game tonight, which Michigan State lost to Mott Community College 72-70.
He was a teammate, of course, of Irvin's over at Everett High School here in Lansing.
Well, we wondered about the crowd reaction here, Eric, and they have been behind the Spartans all night long. But it's a whole different story, as you well know. You were a player. When you get on that road, no matter who you are, it's very tough in the Big Ten to win on the road, and Ohio State is in first place because they have done just that. They have won on the road.
How crucial that first weekend was, Tim, when Ohio State won at Iowa, wasn't it?
No, well, they
won at Illinois. And Michigan State really should have won the Illinois game.
Well, that was a second weekend. They won at home over Purdue to start.
But I mean the first road trip for both teams.
The first road trip, they won them both, just as Michigan State did a year ago.
Right.
So here we go with 2:52 to go, 57-53. Vincent on the second half of the 1-on-1. And
that'll go up out of bounds. Boy, you talk about throwing up bricks. The kid didn't even catch iron, poor guy.
But I'll tell you, he's had a super night.
He's played well.
He's played well, defense, offense. And the crowd says, let's play some defense right here and go home a winner.
It's up by 4.
Mike Klein, that's a gutty shot, and he poured it home. Mike Klein, 6 for him, and now it's a 2-point game with 2.5 to go. Now the Spartans have to decide if they want to hold the ball.
They're in that 75% offense now. They call it only shoot if you have a 75% chance of making it.
2:20. Spartans by 2.
And Johnson will handle the ball most of the time. There's a foul.
He's fouled. And that's all for Carter Scott. That's his 5th. He's going to foul out with 8 points. So that's the second Buckeye starter to go to the bench. Carter Scott and Jim Smith, the 2 forwards, are out of the ball game. Todd Penn's going to come in. Take a look again. This is what Irvin Johnson does so well.
Right there.
Moving to the basket against a man-to-man.
You know, he protects that ball so beautifully. Look at that ball.
Todd Penn into the game for Ohio State.
Ohio State, number 24, Todd Penn.
And 1-1 for Irvin Johnson. But of course he must convert at least 1 here, or the Spartans are back in big heat.
Todd Penn only 5'9", playing with the big guys.
Irvin Johnson is 3 out of 4 from there, 58-55. 2 Spartans are back deep to prevent the fast break. And Irvin hits them both, 59-55. 14 points for Irvin Johnson. And the Buckeyes have got to keep the offensive pressure on.
Michigan State staying in their zone. Playing tight. That's Johnson now on Williams.
Mike Klein, another gutty shot. And that one's poured home. Klein has hit 2 bombs for Ohio State to keep the Buckeyes right in the game.
He's only averaged 2.5 points a game. What's he have?
He's got tonight 8 points, and he's hit these 4 down the stretch to keep it tight with 1:49 to go.
That's Klein on Johnson.
Irvin wheels, deals, and then holds up. 1:38 to go.
Oh. Boy, Donnelly got belted again.
Now a foul off the ball, and that's on Kelvin Ramsey, and that is his 4th.
Hate to see that, Tim. That was the off official furthest away from the play under the basket that made the call. The official within 10 feet of it did not blow the whistle.
59-57. We have 90 seconds left in regulation time. Again, Irvin Johnson on the line with 14 points. 15 for Irvin Johnson, and he is 5 for 6 there. And again, a 4-point Spartan lead, 61-57. And the Spartans are trying to hold on now for what would be a great win tonight if they can keep the lead.
1:23. This team came back, what, 9 points against Indiana.
Williams
There's the big
pours
boy.
it home. Boy, the composure of these Buckeyes.
Have to keep the ball away from him.
14 for Williams, 2-point game, 1:10 to go. And
There's
once
one.
again, Irvin Johnson is fouled by Mike Klein, his 2nd. And again, Irvin has to go to the line and convert to keep the Spartans in control. He, of course, is not the man you want to foul. You want to foul Jay Vincent, but he doesn't handle the ball in that offense. There's Judd Heathcote, Dave Harshman, Bill Berry. They have been remarkably composed tonight and quiet. I say remarkably as compared to other games when they've been very excited. Klein will go out, and Marcus Miller comes back in. You can bet that he probably will pressure Irvin Johnson here with 1:08 to play. The Spartans up by 2.
Miller is 6'4". Klein was 2.
Boy, Irvin is really doing it to the Buckeyes. He now has 17 points, 9 since he came back here 7.5 minutes ago. Finally missing one
from the line.
Now it's a 3-point game with 1:05 to go.
Michigan State in the zone.
1 minute remaining.
And they'll play Williams, I'm sure, in front. Keep that ball away from him.
Irvin is on Williams because he only has 1 foul. Ellinghausen is fouled by Vincent. And that's not what Judd Heathcote wanted, was to stop the clock. So for Jay Vincent, that is his 1st foul of the night. Take a look one more time with 51 seconds to play.
They beat Vincent, then Vincent tried to get him from behind and caught him in that right arm. There's a timeout, Tim.
Kelser nearly caught a charge there. You know, he was ready to take the charge, but Vincent had hooked him first. So we got a wild finish here coming up. 51 more ticks on the clock. And, of course, the Buckeyes want to hit at least one of these free throws to get it back to an even number so that they could at least get a tie with another bucket. If they make both, Eric, you're going to see a really wild finish because they'll pressure the ball then and try to at least force the Spartans into an error. And if they do foul, then they would force Michigan State to have to make 2 free throws.
Ellinghausen, the only member of this Buckeye team from Michigan, from Plymouth, Michigan. And he's from the line in the Big Ten 85%. For the season, he is 70%, but in the Big Ten, he's at 85% from the foul line.
Well, we hope you've enjoyed it tonight. A wild game from Jennison Fieldhouse. They all are. As I say, we'll have 4 more telecasts for you. After tonight, Michigan State will have 10 more games to play in the regular season. We'll have 4 of those 10 for you.
And so many people have said a lot of quarterbacking this year, or rather this week with the Spartans. They've said, well, if they lose this one tonight, they're out of the race. But second place can lose 5 or 6, maybe even 7, as this Big Ten is all scrambled up. And, of course, there's the NIT that can select now from the Big Ten, and possibly even 3 teams could go from the Big Ten. Couldn't they, Tim?
That's correct. And Eldon Miller, I'm sure, has told his team that if you have to foul somebody, try to foul Jay Vincent, because the other 4 are reasonably good free throw shooters, good to excellent. Donnelly, Berkovich, and Johnson are excellent. Kelser is good. And, of course, Jay's having the problems. But on the line, here's Jim Ellinghausen, a home stater. 2 shots.
He gets the first one and is 85% shooter. If he gets this in now, you're going to see Ohio State, of course, in the full court press. They'll press him all over.
Nope, and Vincent gets it. So now we have a 2-point Spartan lead with 48 seconds to play. Irvin will handle the ball as much as possible here.
Go to the basket.
Kelser.
He does. All right.
Oh, Kelser with a big move.
He gave him the alley.
That may have done it. With 35 seconds to go, it's a 4-point Spartan lead. Todd Penn puts it up and home, and he's fouled, and the basket will count. It's on Irvin Johnson. No lead seems to be safe, and Penn, who does not normally score, hits a big bucket. The Buckeyes have had tremendous offensive play from Mike Klein, Todd Penn, and Jim Ellinghausen, the 3 guys who hardly ever score down the stretch.
Don Johnson, his, second?
You know, they can tie the game right here with 28 seconds to go. He's got a 1-on-1. This could be a 4-point play. This could be a 4-point play. 1-and-1 for Jim Ellinghausen.
He gets it.
Oh, he has had the bounces go his way.
Ball game is
28 seconds to go. This could tie the basketball game. The Buckeyes get a great play here. And we got a brand new game. It is tied at 64 with 28 seconds to go. And Erik Furseth, the Spartans have lost 3 at the buzzer here on our telecast. Maybe they can get 1 here at the buzzer for the home fans tonight.
20 seconds.
19. I'm surprised they haven't called timeout here to set something up. 14. They're going to go to the buzzer with it. Ohio State cannot foul. 10, 9, 8. Irvin back to Vincent. 6, 5, 4. Donnelly's going to have to put it up at the buzzer. Tipped up, and no, we have overtime. We will have overtime. So
you can argue, Tim, as to whether they should have called a timeout with 12 seconds.
The game goes into overtime at 64. We'll be back in a moment for our sudden death period right after this message.
Basketball, a 4-point play.
And this is their 3rd overtime in Big Ten play. They won at Illinois in overtime. They beat Indiana last Saturday in overtime, and they lost to Rutgers in triple overtime.
Of course, they go without 2 starters, too, Jim Smith and Carter Scott.
This is Michigan State's 2nd straight home game that's gone overtime. They beat Iowa in our last game here in overtime. Irvin Johnson on that ball, off to Kelser. Greg's got 4 fouls, lays it in, and he's fouled. The basket count. Kelser hits it.
That'll be his first. Ellinghausen picks up the foul. He's the guy that tied the game.
Watch the beautiful play by Gregory Kelser with 4 fouls. He spins on his man.
There's a foul. He got him on the arm.
Well, that's a nice touch by Kelser. 66-64. Now remember, the Spartans blew out Iowa in that last overtime period here. Kelser with 18. He is 0 for 2 from the line.
3 big points.
So
67-64.
Once again, the Buckeyes are in immediate heat with 2 of their starters on the bench, Carter Scott and Jim Smith, with 5 fouls. And it was the guys who don't score normally who really did it for Ohio State to catch this one back up.
Well, He wants to go baseline in the worst way, and then he looks in the inside to Williams. Does Ramsey.
Ramsey was 16 points, 8 in each half.
He averages 22 a game, third in the Big Ten.
Marcus Miller, 45.
Look at that.
Ellinghausen will put it up. No. Loose on the boy. What a play by Kelser, and he can't quite control. The Bucks get it back. Gregory Kelser has played with 4 fouls now for most of the second half and overtime, of course. 4:13 to go. This crowd will be drained again, as of course will the players.
Buckeyes shot it up, and they got it back again, Tim.
In fact, Eric, this is our 3rd straight telecast that we've gone right down to the wire.
Watch him look for Williams.
Marcus Miller.
He takes it.
Marcus Miller, 4 for him, only a sophomore. And at 67-66. 3:50 to play.
In Ohio State, there's a foul. That'll be on Williams.
That is his second.
On the inside, they mixed it up a little bit here. And Ohio State, and I have to say it again, has not come out of that man-to-man. They feel they can beat Michigan State with a straight man-for-man, and even here in overtime, they stick in it. They've lost 2 men on fouls.
I thought Kelser might have got the chance to shoot, but Berkovich does. Burke, of course, has had his string ended tonight. He is 2 for 3 on the season, 19 of 20, and he has 4 points, as you can see. So Berkovich on the line. 1-point Spartan lead.
He'll get that bonus. There's Johnson in the corner of your picture, and there he is. See his head. Favoring that.
2 big free throws for Mike Berkovich, giving Michigan State a 3-point margin with 3:40 to go. Boy, you get your money's worth when you see these games. They are spine tinglers all the way, start to finish. And we've had a great one tonight. Williams around his man, home. Herb
He
Williams.
pours him through.
He looks like he's ready for the NBA with those moves. 16 for Herb Williams, and a 1-point Spartan game. Johnson all the way and scores. Irvin Johnson.
Looks so easy when he does it.
19 points for the Magic Men, and it's 71-68 with 3 minutes to play. And again, the Buckeyes, who have the last 6 minutes, just keep coming back and scoring, and there's a travel.
Ellinghausen, who is in for the fouled out Jim Smith, creates a turnover, and the Spartans get the ball with a 3-point lead. And they'll go full court on him here.
Johnson, I tell you, I like this Marcus Miller. I think I play him a lot. He's only been in sparingly, but he's done quite a job defensively, and he's hit a couple good buckets. Spartans want to get the good shot with 2:47 to go, leading by 3. Offensive foul on Irvin Johnson.
I'll tell you, Marcus Miller read the scouting report on Johnson on that reverse.
Take a look one more time. Notice how Miller steps in the path here and cuts Irvin's lead.
And goes
he
back.
cuts his lead right there. Now, whether that's a charge or not, but he does a good job of it at any rate and gets the call. 3-point game, 2.5 minutes to play.
It's a non-shooting foul because it's an offensive player control foul.
Ramsey, no tip, no foul inside Jim Ellinghausen.
Boy.
That's his second. And we'll send the Spartans back to the line.
And he had a turnover, now he picks up a foul.
One more time. Ramsey inside. Jay intimidates a bit, and that caused the shot to go short.
Right.
And Ellinghausen gets a piece.
Over the top.
I think it's Kelser that'll go to the... No, it's Vincent on the... No, Kelser is on the line. Okay. Gregory tonight is 1 out of 3. 19 points for Gregory Kelser. 71-68. Spartans lead it with 2:29 to play in overtime. 20 for Kelser.
4-point lead.
And the Buckeyes want a timeout. So we'll hold it right here again with 2:29 to go, 72-68. I don't know, we don't have any results on those other games. If you missed it,
thought they said a final.
I think it was a substitution. The other games tonight, well, he already gave you the one final. It was Indiana over Michigan, 68-62. Iowa was leading Wisconsin by 4 at halftime. Minnesota's at Illinois and Purdue at Northwestern. Those games started a bit later. They're, of course, well underway, but there is no final in yet. There are the Buckeyes, the Big Ten leaders. They're ranked number 7 in the nation. Time. So
you can argue, Tim, as to whether they should have called a timeout with 12 seconds.
The game goes into overtime at 64. We'll be back in a moment for our sudden death period right after this message.
Basketball, a 4-point play.
And this is their 3rd overtime in Big Ten play. They won at Illinois in overtime. They beat Indiana last Saturday in overtime, and they lost to Rutgers in triple overtime.
Of course, they go without 2 starters, too, Jim Smith and Carter Scott.
This is Michigan State's 2nd straight home game that's gone overtime. They beat Iowa in our last game here in overtime. Irvin Johnson on that ball, off to Kelser. Greg's got 4 fouls, lays it in, and he's fouled. The basket count. Kelser hits it.
That'll be his first. Ellinghausen picks up the foul. He's the guy that tied the game.
Watch the beautiful play by Gregory Kelser with 4 fouls. He spins on his man.
There's a foul. He got him on the arm.
Well, that's a nice touch by Kelser. 66-64. Now remember, the Spartans blew out Iowa in that last overtime period here. Kelser with 18. He is 0 for 2 from the line.
3 big points. So 67-64.
Once again, the Buckeyes are in immediate heat with 2 of their starters on the bench, Carter Scott and Jim Smith, with 5 fouls. And it was the guys who don't score normally who really did it for Ohio State to catch this one back up.
Well, he wants to go baseline on the worst way, and then he looks in the inside to Williams. Does Ramsey.
Ramsey was 16 points, 8 in each half.
He averages 22 a game, 3rd in the Big Ten.
Marcus Miller, 45.
Look at that.
Ellinghausen will put it up. No. Loose on the boy. What a play by Kelser, and he can't quite control the Bucks get it back. Gregory Kelser has played with 4 fouls now for most of the second half and overtime, of course. 4:13 to go. This crowd will be drained again, as of course will the players.
Buckeyes shot it up and they got it back again, Tim.
In fact, Eric, this is our 3rd straight telecast that we've gone right down to the wire.
Watch him look for Williams.
Marcus Miller.
He takes it.
Marcus Miller, 4 for him, only a sophomore. And at 67-66. 3:50 to play.
In Ohio State, there's a foul. That'll be on Williams.
That is his 2nd.
On the inside, they mixed it up a little bit here. And Ohio State, and I have to say it again, has not come out of that man-to-man. They feel they can beat Michigan State with a straight man-for-man, and even here in overtime, they stick in it. They've lost 2 men on fouls.
I thought Kelser might have got the chance to shoot, but Berkovich does. Burke, of course, has had his string ended tonight. He is 2 for 3 on the season, 19 of 20, and he has 4 points, as you can see. So Berkovich on the line. 1-point Spartan lead.
They get that bonus. There's Johnson in the corner of your picture. There he is. See his head. Favoring that.
2 big free throws for Mike Berkovich, giving Michigan State a 3-point margin with 3:40 to go. Boy, you get your money's worth when you see these games. They are spine tinglers all the way, start to finish. And we've had a great one tonight. Williams around his man home.
Oh,
Herb
he
Williams.
pours them through.
He looks like he's ready for the NBA with those moves. 16 for Herb Williams and a 1-point Spartan game. Johnson all the way in scoring. Irvin Johnson.
Looks so easy when he does it.
19 points for the Magic Men, and it's 71-68 with 3 minutes to play. And again, the Buckeyes, who have the last 6 minutes, just keep coming back and scoring, and there's a travel.
Ellinghausen, who is in for the fouled out Jim Smith, creates a turnover, and the Spartans get the ball with a 3-point lead. And they'll go full court on him here.
Johnson, I tell you, I like this Marcus Miller. I think I'd play him a lot. He's only been in sparingly, but he's done quite a job defensively, and he's hit a couple good buckets. Spartans want to get the good shot with 2:47 to go, leading by 3. Offensive foul on Irvin Johnson.
I'll tell you, Marcus Miller read the scouting report on Johnson on that reverse.
Take a look one more time. Notice how Miller steps in the path here and cuts Irvin's lead.
And
well,
goes
he
back.
cuts his lead right there. Now, whether that's a charge or not, but he does a good job of it at any rate and gets the call. 3-point game, 2.5 minutes to play.
It's a non-shooting foul because it's an offensive player control foul.
Ramsey, no tip, no foul inside Jim Ellinghausen.
Boy.
That's his second. And we'll send the Spartans back to the line.
And he had a turnover, now he picks up a foul.
One more time. Ramsey inside. Jay intimidates a bit, and that caused the shot to go short.
Right.
And Ellinghausen gets a piece.
Over the top.
I think it's Kelser that'll go to the... No, it's Vincent on the... No, Kelser is on the line. Okay. Gregory tonight is 1 out of 3.
And
19 points for Gregory Kelser. 71-68. Spartans lead it with 2:29 to play in overtime. 20 for Kelser.
4-point lead.
And the Buckeyes want a timeout. So we'll hold it right here again with 2:29 to go, 72-68. I don't know, we don't have any results on those other games. If you missed it.
I thought they said a final.
I think it was a substitution. The other games tonight, well, you already gave you the one final. It was Indiana over Michigan, 68-62. Iowa was leading Wisconsin by 4 at halftime. Minnesota's at Illinois and Purdue at Northwestern. Those games started a bit later. They're, of course, well underway, but there is no final in yet. There are the Buckeyes, the Big Ten leaders. They're ranked number 7 in the nation. They are 13-4. And as Judd Heathcote said, they came on with that win over Duke in Madison Square Garden the night of the Gator Bowl game. It was the holiday festival in overtime.
I wonder if that is that for a fact. 39-20.
Here's a halftime score. Illinois 39, Minnesota 20. That game is at Champaign, Illinois tonight. Tim Stoudt and Erik Furseth here with 2:29 to play. The Spartans will have the second end of a 1-1, but I'll tell you, don't count the Buckeyes out. We were doing that the last minute and a half of the game, and Ohio State was right back in it.
That score for real there we gave Tim, 39-20. Minnesota over Illinois at Illinois?
No, Illinois leading Minnesota, 39-20 at the half. Hello, everybody. Nice to have you with us. So here's Kelser with a second into the 1-1. Now it's a 5-point game.
With 2:29 to go.
21 points for Gregory Kelser. 73-68 Michigan State.
They're fronting Williams.
Marcus Miller. Ramsey is open momentarily, but Irvin Johnson and Berkovich team up. Ramsey open again, but again Irvin fronts him, puts it up anyway and home. Nice shot, Kelvin Ramsey.
Boy, when they have that inside-outside, that outside-inside threat, and a shooter like that, and an inside man like Williams, tough.
1:54 to play. Spartans by 3. They've led the entire overtime. They're going for their 12th straight win over Ohio State, a school that has not beaten them in 7 years.
Michigan State in the stall.
140. Irvin holds it up. Berkovich will hold it up.
Berkovich almost wanted to go in for that shot.
Let's give
in the lane. That'll be a foul on Miller.
Marcus Miller, second foul. That was almost the same type of play where he drew Irvin for a charge, and we'll look at it one more time while Irvin goes to the line. Now watch if this isn't almost the same. See, he tries to cut his lead, but he's a little late that time, and Irvin had got the half step on his man.
Comes an Ohio State substitution, a couple of them. Number 22, Tony Hall. We saw him earlier, and Klein is back in there, number 34.
It is 73-70 with a minute 28 to go. Irvin Johnson on the line, 1-1. He has 19 points.
Buckeyes getting some speed in there now to chase that ball.
20 for the Magic Man. Kelser with 21. 17 for Vincent.
Amazing, Tim. They've done it from the foul line here in the second half, the Spartans have. Led by that guy there, number 33, Irvin Johnson.
75 to 70. We have a minute 27 to go. Bucks got to get on the board again in a hurry.
Amazing. It's amazing how they hang in there, isn't it?
Oh, they're unreal. Ohio State's under Tony Hall. And that's a bad shot, and now he's fouled by Ellinghausen.
Ellinghausen again.
That may just about do it with a minute 16 to go. That one may just about do it. Take a look at Ellinghausen one more time. He's in fighting for the Bucks, trying to get the tip, but it was a poor shot in the first place. And Ellinghausen from Plymouth-Salem washed to the other end of the floor. If Ohio State loses, they must go back on the road to Bloomington to play Indiana Saturday. No easy chore, as you know. 1-1 Irvin Johnson.
Catch the front of that rim, lay it in softly. Chances are it'll go in, just like that shot by Johnson.
That may do it.
Jump on the bonus, it is good. 77-70, 116. Hands have come alive. Klein puts up a 15-footer. Won't good. Williams with the rebound. Puts up a shot. No good. Hall puts up the second attempt. It is no good. Whistle sounds underneath, and Irvin Johnson picks up his fourth personal foul. But it'll be Hall going to the free throw line with 1:05 to go. Michigan State leading 77-70. Will have a bonus arrangement, and it's on this one anyway as Hall steps in. The shooting one, wasn't it? That'd be my guess. Yeah, it's a two-shot foul. There you go. Hall will get two. Here's his first one. No good. With 1:05 to go. The Buckeyes, Tony Hall will take the second shot. No go. Rebounded by Williams in the lane. Has the ball stolen by Donnelly. Tied up in there, but he gets the ball away. Throws it to Berkovich. Berkovich waits. Stuff it in. 79-70. 54 seconds to go. Puts up a 16-footer. Whistle, and Berkovich is called for the foul on Ramsey. The score is 79-70. Berkovich picks up, however, his third foul. But just moments ago, it was he at the style of stuffing the basket. Said his coach is asking for a timeout there. The Spartans will call a timeout, and pandemonium is broken out here because Jennison is jumping in East Lansing. Let's take our timeout. This is the Michigan State Basketball Network. In the overtime, Michigan State 9 for 9 at the stripe. As Ramsey misses a shot, 8 for 8 on the front end of the bonus, Ray. Ramsey, 1 for 2 as he hits on the second shot, 79-71. Press put on by Ohio State. Berkovich into the fourth court. We're down to 42 seconds, and a foul is called on Tony Hall, reaching in from behind and hacking on Berkovich, and Berkovich will go to the line. First foul on Hall. Overtime, and Michigan State leading 79-71. Berkovich hits on the free throw. He'll take the bonus shot. Here it is. It's good. 81-71. 40 seconds remaining. Ramsey comes down, drives the lane from the right side, puts up the shot. No good. Loose ball. A scramble for the rebound. Williams underneath, and he stumps it. And he had Ellinghausen riding his back. 81-73. Press put on, and Johnson dribbles it off his foot as he was double-teamed, and so Ohio State will put it in play in the forecourt with 26 seconds remaining. Michigan State leading 81-73. And I got to bet that'll be Ramsey trying to put a shot up. He does, and it's good. A 16-footer from the right side, and Ramsey in Ohio State will call timeout with 21 seconds remaining, and trailing by 6 points, 81-75. The University of Kansas will move in for a matinee ball game on Sunday afternoon against Michigan State, and we'll be on the air with that one. We hope that you'll join us. We've got to finish this one off first as Michigan State puts the ball in play. Johnson comes down. We get a whistle, and a foul is going to be called on Ellinghausen as he fouls Vincent down the forecourt. And they ripped off 4 quick points. They were down. I was trying to find it in the notes because I don't know the exact details, but they were behind Indiana something like 13 points with about 4 minutes to go and won it. And then down by 9 with 2 minutes to go and came through. You're right. There's a shot. It is good. He's got 19. 83-75, Michigan State. Inbound pass, 17 seconds. Ramsey comes down the right side, puts up the shot, and a foul is going to be called on Irvin Johnson, blocking away, and Johnson is fouled out. His fifth foul with 14 seconds remaining in the first overtime, and I think the only overtime tonight, 83-75. Listen to the hand of these fans for Irvin Johnson. Ramsey now with 22 points. And that's just about his average per game, 22.2. Puts up the second one, it is good. Make it 83-77. Pass comes to Charles, who comes in the lineup for Johnson. To Donnelly, 7 seconds remaining. The foul is called on Tony Hall, and Donnelly will go to the line. Good defensive game for Michigan State tonight. Was not in the starting lineup when this game got underway. Donnelly at the line, takes the first one, it is up, it is good. The shot is up and is no good. Rebounded by Williams. 84-77, 5 seconds remaining. Ramsey drives the lane, puts it up. It is good. 1 second. Time has run out. The ball game is over, and the Spartans in overtime have beaten the Buckeyes 84-79. As the Spartans run the record to 5-4. The Buckeyes now taking their first loss, staying on top though with a record of 8 wins and 1 loss in Big Ten play. And we'll be back to wrap it up. But first, to remind you, this is the Michigan State basketball